Okay, went on a canoe trip yesterday just for the day. Didn't plan on spending the overnight, but I did have enough gear to spend out overnight if I needed to or even wanted to. So I had, in addition to what's here, I did have my 5x7 BC USA urethane coated tarp as well as some mosquito netting and some paracord and just enough there. This is the gear that I got completely wet yesterday. I put it all in my 18-liter flash pack. I went swimming with it for about 20 minutes, got it completely soaked. It's amazing, water seeps in everywhere. I had some things double and triple bagged, and even then, you could see in some places there was some condensation or little just droplets getting in. But I'm just going to do a quick review of what I took, why I took it, and how it worked. So just starting over here, I just kind of always take this, my Phoenix LD20, some mosquito repellent, some fat wood in here, extra batteries, and my open all folding saw. Now most of this stuff can get wet, other than the open all folding saw would of course start to rust because that's carbon steel. But if I need to start a fire for an overnight situation, that's all there, relatively lightweight. My U-Dig-It stainless steel trowel. Again, if I ever plan on having a fire, I take that with me, and weight isn't an issue. Makes cat holes, so on. It's great for putzing around with fires. My Silva compass. Didn't really need it, but always good to have a compass along. My Leatherman Crunch, which is stainless steel, so that doesn't rust. Before I left, I did spray it with some silicone spray. I did not waterproof the leather case, so I should have done that. I mean, it's not a good idea to get it wet all the time. I did have it in a bag rather than on my belt, but I wasn't too worried about it getting wet, and it did get wet. I just made it accessible. My PSK, that I've put snow seal all around this leather case. I want to get probably a nylon one for when it plans on getting wet. But what I've done is I've taken one of these lock sack bags and covered it with duct tape, because what I find happens is little abrasions start to cause wear on the plastic. The seal is okay, but the plastic starts to wear through. So I just put a protective covering by putting duct tape over it, and then it all fits in there in that PSK, and that stays on my belt. My AMK heat sheets emergency blanket. If you've seen those, that would be useful. This is what I kept my cell phone and my keys and my driver's license and my Right in the Rain notebook in. I haven't protected this because I kept this in a fairly safe place and where abrasions aren't going to be an issue, but I probably will protect that or get a better sack for my cell phone. On my neck, I kept my BK11 neck knife with my Jetstream whistle, my fire steel, some fat wood, PJ cotton balls. I did take off my LED light because, like I say, I was essentially swimming with this on. And it does have a little breakaway slip knot here, so I wouldn't get too tangled up. My photon LED is not waterproof. I don't know of any of these little low profile ones that are waterproof, but maybe they're out there. But this worked great. This was my main knife, the only knife I kept. It's pretty much my main knife all the time anyhow. My first aid kit, again, double sealed for the abrasion things and to keep everything dry. A lock sack bag inside, and a little mylar or a heavier duty bag on the outside, Ziploc style bag. I did take my Esbit Solve, and I use these Coghlan's fuel tablets. I find them a lot cheaper than the Esbit. I can get this locally when they're in stock. 24 tablets for $2.49, so that's only 10 cents a tablet. It usually takes 2 tabs. They're just 7 grams each. They're little small round ones in the Esbit stove. I did go ahead and, just as practice, light this up in the canoe, right on the wooden canoe seat there, and made myself a cup of Starbucks Via coffee with my Glacier stainless steel cup, my Lexan REI 1 liter bottle, and had myself a cup of coffee just as practice. So it got a little damp, but it did light up with a lighter. Of course, I have a fire steel, and there's a lot of different options there, but that did work to make a cup of coffee while I was out on the water. Now realize it's 80 degrees out, so cold isn't an issue. Staying wet really isn't an issue, but it was nice to get something in you. I took my chamois towel. The sponge is great for getting stuff out of the bottom of the canoe. My shemagh just to use as a sun cover or whatever. So took that. Just remember, think about a sponge when you're in a canoe. Again, I've kind of shown you my cook kit here with my stainless steel cup and the Esbit tab. That's just a little lid for this little bowl there that I can use to make soup in or whatever, have some soup. My Mosquito head net I didn't use. This is the backpacking ultralight one. I think it's made by Sea to Summit also, but that's really a nice head net, but I did not really need it on this trip. Fingerless gloves, I always wear fingerless gloves. That's just me. You know, my hands aren't calloused, so when I was canoeing, even though they're kind of leather and nylon, and they're a little wet today, I wore those. Clothing, I use these nylon zip-off pants. They dry in like minutes if there's a little sun or wind, so staying dry is important. Sandals are important. My REI flash pack, those all worked well.